Hello everyone, Michael here, part-time gamer, full-time dad with a too long didn't read guide for World of Warcraft. This time on the block it's going to be the Protection Paladin, so let's just get into it. Quick warning before we do start, this is simply a basics guide and my recommendations for a new Protection Paladin looking to get a feel for the class. This guide also does not take into account legendaries, which may inevitably change your playstyle. Protection Paladins are really reliable tanks. Your damage intake should be pretty smooth and you have a ton of self-healing, which means you won't be stressing your healers. This guide is aimed at the survivability aspect of the Protection Paladin as opposed to DPS. With that being said, we're going to start off with the suggested talents as they may impact your playstyle the most. Protection Paladin talents are pretty situational, so these are just my suggested defaults. At level 15, you'll want to take Blessed Hammer as it both does damage and reduces incoming damage from the mob's next auto attack. Level 30, you'll want First Avenger as it's passive and increases your Avenger's shield damage by 50% on the first target hit and increases the proc chance of Grand Crusader. At level 45, it's going to be entirely up to you. As a tank, I would say that Blinding Light is probably your best bet as it does damage and has a disorient effect. Level 60 will be Cavalier as your only method of dodging mechanics is on a 45-second cooldown, so having a second one is just really handy. At level 75, it's going to be Hand of Protector, which replaces your Light of the Protector spell with a lower cooldown and improved version, provided you remain standing in your consecration, which you should just always be doing. Level 90 will be Judgment of Light for the heal it provides to everyone in your party. If another paladin in the raid is already running this talent, then you can run Consecrated Ground for the healing to the other melee. And last but not least, your level 100 default talent should be Righteous Protector for the increased frequency with which you can use Light of the Protector. Last Defender is better in consistent AoE fights, however. The stats on a Protection Paladin are going to change based on survivability or DPS, but since we're focusing survivability, you'll want to aim for haste above all. Then versatility, then mastery, then crit in that order. Your haste, being a primary stat, increases your Shield of the Righteousness uptime, which in turn reduces the damage you take. For your gems, you're going to want to get the plus 200 strength in one socket and plus 150 haste in all your remaining sockets. For your relics, you're going to aim for Unflinching Defense, Righteous Crusade, and Faith's Armor at the highest eye level they can for the most survivability. Your enchants, you're going to want on your neck, Mark of the Heavy Hide for the armor proc, haste on your cloak, which adds 100 haste and a 2% movement increase, and 200 haste on your rings. Your ring enchants can vary slightly depending on where your haste is at. If you feel comfortable with what you have, as there's no real cap, you can put it wherever you want. I would suggest putting it on versatility. Your consumables are pretty straightforward. You're going to want to use the Flask of the 10,000 Scars for the increased health, the Azari Salad for haste, and the Unbending Potion for survivability. Alternatively, you can use the Potion of Prolonged Power, which will be significantly cheaper, for a slight DPS increase, although a slight survivability loss. So now the basic playstyle of the Protection Paladin is that the rotation is not terribly complicated. You'll want to prioritize your Judgment, then Consecration, then Avenger's Shield, then Blessed Hammer for your damage. If you're in a more AoE focused fight, you prioritize Avenger's Shield and Consecration over Judgment for obvious reasons. As far as keeping yourself alive, you'll mainly focus on Shield of the Righteous and Light of the Protector. It is paramount that you stand within your Consecrate at all times for the added benefit to your Light of the Protector ability. It's not possible to maintain 100% uptime on your shield, so don't bother. Instead, use it when you know heavy damage is incoming or on pull, always making sure to keep one charge in reserve just in case. Your heal is obviously reactionary and should be just used when you dip low in health. Your Eye of Tyr ability, which you gain from your artifact, should be used as often as possible unless you know there's a major damage spike coming. You don't want to hold on to this ability for too terribly long, so just keep your eye on those boss timers. For your legit cooldowns, we have Guardian of Ancient Kings up first. This should be used if your healers won't be able to heal you for a few seconds or before a large burst of damage. Next is Ardent Defender, which should basically be used to negate deadly mechanics or if you really have an oh shit moment. Lay on Hands should be used reactionary to save your life when you dip extremely low and for some reason your healers can't keep up. I suggest you make a self-target macro for this one. And Avenging Wrath is a 2-minute cooldown that increases both your healing done and your damage done, so just sort of use it whenever you feel the need. Finally, Divine Shield can be used to clear debuffs or avoid fatal damage. However, you need to remember that it makes you immune, and thusly you need a cancel macro to make the best use of it. And with that, we reach the end of this too long didn't read guide for the Protection Paladin. If this was at all helpful, consider hitting that like button, maybe leave a comment if you're feeling frisky, get subscribed for more videos like this in the future, and hit me up on Twitter at PTGamer_fulltimedad. I would love to hear from you. Thanks for watching, and may the light bless you.